Hi, so after my last post on LinkedIn regarding AI, I wanted to give an overview of my workflow, specifically working with firmware uh, and using something like Cursor to develop firmware. And that's usually not something that's done that I've seen with Cursor. It's people are mostly using it for things like web development. Um, so my setup here is I have Cursor along with the Arduino, and then also Salier logic analyzer. And what's interesting about this is Arduino is pretty well known, so the code base should be well supported and well documented. So we can actually just start a new chat in Cursor and start building from there. And I also have a Whisper speech to text dictation app that works really well also. So let's give it a try and go from there. I want to build a Arduino sketch that uses I2C, specifically a slave, to control a servo. And we'll send that up to Cursor. And it's going to give us a nice to-do list of everything it's going to try and do, and start building this sketch. So it picked up that it's an Arduino sketch, so it has the INO extension. We'll click on the file and see it running in real time. And I might cut this, we'll see how long it takes. So it's got the wire and the servo library. It's defining I2C address, what PWM pin to use for the servo. Some commands to send, that's interesting. And then my servo, it does the setup, it begins the serial connection. I normally change this to a 115200. And it prints out, it's starting up the I2C, and it's attaching some callbacks, so it's using the interrupt version. Yeah, so the loop is just going to loop. Everything else is done through interrupts, which is nice. And then it's going to process the commands from I2C and do things appropriately with the servo. So that all looks pretty appropriate. We'll hit keep all, and then master and slave. That's interesting. Slave address. What does that do? Oh, just for controlling it, I guess. So you'd hook up two of these and can send from one Arduino to another. That's not exactly what I wanted, but the slave should work just fine. So if we open this up, and it's going to complain that it's not in a Arduino folder, sketch folder, so it'll fix that for us. And we'll look to verify and just see if it even compiles. So yeah, clean code. Whether or not that actually functions is a different story, but it does compile, so this would run on a board. From there, I would upload it. To save time, I'm not going to do that. And you'd go back and forth with Cursor AI saying, hey, change the set angle command to an A instead of an S. And so it's going to go through and hopefully change this. And it will actually do it in both scripts. And let's see if it found that I moved the file. Just going to open the correct file for it. And so it identified that. It's going to change the comments and the A to an S in both files for us, both the slave and the master. So we're going to hit keep all, and we're going to go back to Arduino, and it should have changed in here too. There it is, and verify that that compiles. And so we could load this on the Arduino board, and then also hook up a logic analyzer. And so here's a Cellier logic analyzer, and I think most USB logic analyzers have something like this. But here's the nice view of packets, I2C packets. But you can also go to terminal view. And what I found really handy is you can decode and debug I2C and other packet structures directly in Cursor using the terminal mode in the logic analyzer. So we can copy this if there's a problem and paste it directly into our chat and say, hey, this isn't quite working, can you check the addresses, things like that. I'm not going to go into all of that due to time, but hopefully you get a good workflow. I'm using the Arduino IDE. I've also used it for things like Keel and the MPLAB X for doing other processors and other firmware development. So, and it works really well. And what else I've done is I'm taken Arduino sketches, use those as reference for porting to other platforms. And what really got me started on this, I just wanted to prove the concept. I'm actually working with my kids on something over the summer. It's called the Propellor, and it's a thruster that mounts to any paddle or oar and is controlled with a IMU inside this box. It's got a battery, an IMU, and then a thruster. So when you turn the paddle 90 degrees, this is on a paddle board, the thruster turns on, and you've got a motorized paddle instantly. So check that out. I'll put this link in my LinkedIn and in this video, and go ahead and hit notify me on launch. So this is in pre-promotion mode right now, but I'd love for you to take a look at it and tell me what you think. Thanks, and let me know what you think of the whole video.